guys, and welcome to today's chill, almost sit down video where I'll be discussing my month of December in an overview in terms of every single Christmassy and wintry activity I've been up to lately. And so let's just jump right in, because this is gonna be a kind of festive one that I just wanted to do, almost like a moment where we can all just sit down, reflect on our month, reflect on our year, take a moment to just like pause and turn off our brains and just relax for a second. And so let's just jump right in. So for context, all throughout December, I have been posting my Bookmas videos. I had originally planned to do 24, and so far I am on track to finishing all 24, not a single day skipped. And it's gonna happen. It's 100% happening. But at some point earlier in the month, I wasn't sure if it was gonna happen. So, I went through all of that. But then also in the middle of everything, this also will kind of be wherein I'll be speaking about how I was working on these videos and then also doing all these other things and kind of making time still for doing all these other activities that now we'll be able to discuss. And then also some examples and ideas that you can take away for what you might want to do for the rest of December that's left, and kind of just get festive, have a little bit of fun, kind of relax, because it's the end of the year. It's time to take it easy because you've been working so hard the entire year that you deserve a little bit of a break. But basically, looking back towards the beginning of December, around the time I started Bookmas, the original goal was that reading vlogs actually sat down and recorded all throughout November. I'd spaced them out throughout my Bookmas videos, so you'd get like a couple reading vlogs every week or so or something like that. And then that's how I'd continue Bookmas, wherein I would do 2 reading vlogs or so every week, and then the rest of the sit down videos I'd record them in the span of a couple days and then spread them out again throughout the week. But the thing is, my plans kind of got wrenched off course and whatnot, because at the beginning of the month I fell sick. So what I ended up doing instead was actually posting all of these vlogs, the reading ones, back to back all throughout the first week of December, because I was too sick to actually sit down and record or just do anything. And so in the middle of that, the plan was completely wrenched off course, because now it means that every single day I have to sit down and record a new sit down video, which is how I'm kind of taking it through. But I'm still happy we were able to persevere, and those videos kind of helped me pull through, because we're still going strong to kind of hit 24 and on track and whatnot. So while I'm not trying to make excuses or justify things, that's the reason I didn't actually get to a lot in the first week of December. It's because I was mostly just at home sneezing into my tissues and going back to sleep every now and then, and so not a lot happened. What did happen though was the day right before I fell sick and whatnot, I started off by getting my nails done. I did it at home by myself. I did red. Obviously they haven't stuck at this point, but I think it was cool anyway. And the same day I actually went, right after college, there was a Christmas market down the street and whatnot, a kilometer or so away. And so I ended up walking there, kind of going and checking out the place. Again, not a lot happened. I think the whole reason I felt sick actually was that day specifically walking to the market, because I only had a jacket on. I didn't carry gloves and stuff. And so honestly, I was frozen because it was too cold that very specific day, and so that's the whole reason I felt sick. But that's also something I started my month off with. The second week onwards, however, once I actually started getting better, is when all of these activities started in full scale. And so I'll kind of speak about them and then break the video down by giving you b-roll of what I actually ended up doing. But second week onwards, when I was cleared by the doctor to now be able to start eating stuff from outside, other things that don't necessarily consist of a specific diet with specific medications, so I get better, then I started again divulging into my sweet treats. To be fair, I've been doing that all throughout November too, and so just take a moment. I'm going to put in all my sweet treat clips, but that's basically what I've been doing all of December. Every other day there's some sort of sweet treat in my hand. Even tonight actually I'll be doing that, but yeah, a moment for the sweet treats. Another thing I also ended up doing, I think it was towards the end of the first week or beginning of the second week, once I was okay again, was actually going on a Christmas family dinner, because there's this one place in the city that I honestly love. I go there every birthday. That's my favorite place in town to go and eat at. And so we ended up going there to eat. It was so random because we always generally go on my birthday, but then I don't know, it just came up, the plans, and it's the coziest place ever. I generally don't like going there during the summertime and stuff, because it gives cozy vibes. It gives almost festive, wherein you want to bundle up with like a blanket and get cozy and go there. And so we ended up going there, and I feel like it was perfect timing now because you just want to get cozy. And so we ended up having the best time there, kind of pulling things off the menu, having all of that, and that's also something I ended up doing. And while it wasn't necessarily like festive, Christmassy or whatever, screaming Christmas in your face, I feel like it was still cool enough because it was like cozy and this entire like warm light aesthetic setting wherein you just sit down and you have the best food on the planet and you get to catch up with your family and just relax while there's like the best melodies playing in the background and all the nicest people around you. And I just thought that was like a fun time to sit down and just like take a break, pause for a second and have a good time. Another thing I ended up doing, again, a Christmas activity specifically, was actually setting up the tree with my little sister. I don't know if I have B-roll, which is why after I'm done recording this, I'll go take some. But yeah, you'll be able to see what our tree this year looks like. Very similar to all of the other trees I've done all of the other years and whatnot, but listen, I don't really care. It was still a good old time and I had the best time ever. I feel like there were such core memories unlocked this time specifically because we were having truly a blast, making all kinds of jokes, and probably something I'm going to remember years down the line as well. Another thing I ended up doing actually was going on a bunch of walks. Now this also, I'm not really sure if I have like sky clips and stuff as I was walking, but I know I did take a clip that one day I was going to fall sick and I didn't realize it because it was too cold outside and I was hanging there for too long, but that's also something I ended up doing. And another thing I did, this is probably the most interesting one of the entire video and probably will be, is actually visiting a bunch of Christmas markets. So that one specifically towards the beginning of December, but nothing really happened there because I was not feeling so great that day. I already started feeling sick. However, later in the month or whatnot, I'd say about towards the end of the second week is when there was this like one Christmas market that opened up in my old high school. They had like a 2-day event, and so I wanted to go there, but the first day it got kind of late. So my mom and sister ended up heading there. They instantly, as soon as they reached, they were like, oh my god, it's still running, you need to come, it's the best place ever. And so I ended up going there, but by the time I reached, because I didn't necessarily leave with them at that specific moment, it was during like closing hours and stuff, so they were all like winding up and I wasn't necessarily able to see specifics and stuff. So I also ended up visiting on the second day and whatnot because I wanted, again, more time to spend there, because it's kind of like the place wherein it's like a small community of like a bunch of, again, amazing like small creators and small businesses gathered, and it's like so sweet and so fun because regardless of you whether you're going and buying stuff from them specifically or you're just standing there and perusing, they were like the nicest people ever, kind of speaking, catching up. I saw a bunch of people from my old high school and stuff, my old teachers that we got to talking and stuff, smiling at each other, all such like a great time. And so I'll include clips of that as well, day 1 and day 2 what I ended up doing, but day 2 is when I've spent most of my time there. I bought a bunch of stuff, so I think I can give you a haul too. Firstly, on day 1, when there wasn't like a lot of time, I ended up getting this like bracelet. So there was like a table when there were like a bunch of charms and stuff, and you could pick your own charms and make your own charm bracelet. So if you watch my like gift guide for like Christmas or whatnot for like a bookish person where I include charm bracelets as an option, it actually came the idea from going and getting them from the market. And also if you include having watched a couple of my reading vlogs towards the end of the time I was falling sick and whatnot, when I actually got better again, you will probably hear like jingling stuff around my hands and whatnot, and those were the bracelets because the charms and whatnot make it jingle. But yeah, the first bracelet was also done by me on the very first day before closing time and stuff. And again, the lady there, so sweet, we were having the best conversation. I was picking out my charms. I made it bunny themed, and I'm not going to open it and show it to you like this because you won't be able to, which is why I'm going to cut this clip so you can actually see it in B-roll what it turned out like. And before anyone yells at me that Cinnamoroll, the Sanrio character, is not a bunny, in my head it is. So ignore that. Moving on, I did make this bunny bracelet on day 1, but I knew I wanted to come back day 2, kind of spend more time there, kind of see what else they have, and I also wanted to come with someone else. So I actually ended up taking a photo of all the charms they had displayed on the table, just for like a memory keepsake to kind of show that person and also talk them into coming with me. And so when I ended up going day 2, I ended up buying a lot of more stuff. Is that necessarily good? No, but I'm supporting the economy, I'm supporting small businesses, so I don't really mind. What I ended up getting firstly was this like balloon frog key keychain almost. Again, I'll include it in B-roll, but I think it's so cute because it was just like a random charm lying there, and my sister actually showed it to me, and I was like, no way, I need to have it. And the options were endless. Honestly, you could have it in the form of like a bracelet, you could have it in the form of like a keychain like the one I've done here, or you could have it like as a phone charm hanging from like the dust plug of your phone where you like plug in your charger and stuff. But I didn't want to do that because I've already had one in the past, and I don't like the way it necessarily jingles and interferes with me putting in the pocket. And so for accessibility, I didn't do that. But then I saw this towards the very end after I was done with my charm bracelet, which is why I figured might as well just include this one as a keychain. Looking back, I should have probably done it as a bracelet, because if I use this, I'll always be scared that it's dainty enough that it's going to fall off and whatnot. But listen, I did it anyway. I don't mind. I'll still use it maybe at some point, and if not, it's always going to be so cute to look at, because like I think this is personally the cutest thing I've ever seen. That same day, I ended up making another bracelet. This is more summer coded. Again, I'll cut the clip now so you can see what it looks like in B-roll. So I actually cannot wait to take this along with me when I go on vacation next year to my uncle's beach house and whatnot, because we go every single year, and I feel like this would honestly be the iconic, most perfect bracelet to wear while I'm over there, because I feel like this year specifically I saw like a bunch of people wearing like almost like charm jewelry, and it was coming back in trend. And even if it doesn't, like I said in my gift guide video, I feel like it's like a timeless classic thing wherein when you sit down and you pick out your own charms for whatever reason, it's almost like a time capsule for that specific moment in time of you kind of picking out what you felt like in that moment in terms of your interest range. And so it's definitely something you can obviously go back and look upon and, you know, continue to wear throughout the years. It's always something that'll be there. And so I'm not necessarily concerned if it's going to be in trend and whatnot, because I love it anyway, and I cannot wait for summer to roll around now, because I'm a little sick of winter, but also because I want to wear my bracelet. And so that's another fun thing to look forward to. That day also, like I said, I took a photo of the charms and stuff to show my friend, to kind of convince my friend into giving me company into going there. And so looking back, that photo was on my camera roll, and the second day when I was actually gonna go again, we actually ended up showing the photo to my dad as well, to kind of ask him if he was interested in anything. And I bought a bunch of stuff for him too. So I don't necessarily have them with me at this point. I've already given it to him so he can like start using it, but he's more of like a keychain guy. And so there were a bunch of charms, very niche interest range and stuff. And so I'm like 90% sure there's like a B-roll clip of me holding the charms in my hand before I gave it to the owner and stuff, so she could like make it into the keychain for me, because it was like you pick the charm and then she'll attach the stuff and she'll kind of craft it on there so you can get it and whatnot. And so he ended up actually picking out 4 things. Again, this is very niche, it's probably in the video clip, but Luigi, number 1 from Mario. He also ended up picking out Knuckles from, I think it's called Sonic or something like that. Originally he was gonna take Sonic, but then once he saw Knuckles, he was just like, that's what he's a bigger fan of. He was also gonna take Tails, but then in the end we narrowed it down. So Knuckles, a video game controller, and this is so random, but the 4th one was actually one of the cloaks from Hufflepuff of Harry Potter, just because he liked the look of it. He's not a Harry Potter person. He hasn't watched the movies, hasn't read the books, probably has heard me yap about it when I was in middle school, and the only thing he's done Harry Potter related is actually buy me the books when I was a kid. But otherwise, I don't even know how that happened, but I think he just really liked the look of it. So that's also something I bought. Finally, I ended up getting the most adorable bookmark. It says "Ghosting You" for my books. They actually had a bunch of these like resin ones that they sat down and made and whatnot, and I thought this was the cutest in terms of like what it said and the color and the piece. And it is a little damaged, but I don't really mind, because like the ghost on it, that's beautiful in my opinion. So again, I'll cut it so you can actually look at it. And my sister also ended up getting a bunch of things from that same place alongside me. So if I manage to get it from her tonight in the form of B-roll, it'll definitely be in the video. Otherwise, you know, just to summarize, she got like one related to like a cartoon she likes, one related to the band she likes, so like a whole BTS themed bracelet, and then I think she got like a keychain or 2 or something like that too. I'm not sure, but she got her own stuff, I got mine. We were all happy. It was a great day overall. Another activity I ended up doing was actually going to McDonald's all the time, the entire month. Even right now as I speak, my food is waiting for me from McDonald's, so as soon as I'm done, you'll get B-roll of that too. But I don't know why in my head going to McDonald's is such like an almost every season sort of activity. It really just depends, and this time around they had like their Christmas decor up and stuff, and while I don't have videos of that, I have videos of my food, so you can go enjoy that. That was also fun because I remember the day specifically when we went to the Christmas market. We also went to McDonald's later onwards and, spent the evening there, kind of had a good day overall. Core memory unlocked again because there's specific things we did that day that, again, I don't know how I'll ever forget that because it was such a perfect day looking back and I had the best time ever. Another thing I've been up to is actually keeping up with like college work and stuff, because do keep in mind that I know I'm posting all these videos every single day for Bookmas and, making all these bookish themed things, but at the same time, it's not because I'm like jobless and stuff that I'm able to keep up with the fact that I'm posting every single day. It's because I have other duties and whatnot, because I don't do YouTube as a full-time thing. I'm just doing it as like a side hobby right now. And so I was keeping up with a lot of college this time around. It is a colder month, so lesser people are attending than regular and stuff, which is why I feel like that wasn't the kind of workload we normally get, and I was able to get away with doing Bookmas in the first place, because if it was like the normal hectic schedule, there's no way in hell I'd be able to do this. But in the midst of anything else and everything, I was keeping up with like making stuff for college and doing all these other things. We were making models, I was doing like interior design work on the software and stuff, and so there's also that. Again, it's not necessarily Christmas, but I feel like it's nerdy and like almost atmospheric enough, because at this point, studying and like, being smart and whatnot has just been made such like an aesthetic, romanticized thing. And there isn't anything wrong with that if that helps you, but it's been made such a thing wherein everyone around fall time kind of wants to tune in and bring out their Rory Gilmore. And again, nothing wrong with that, but I don't know why in my head studying has now been related to this season too. Do it entire year, doesn't matter if I'm doing it in the summer, it sticks in my head as such like a get cozy and get comfortable towards the end of the night and whatnot, and then work on your stuff kind of thing, which is why that's also something I did. Another thing I've really been up to and having fun with is reading a lot of books. So I feel like, yes, I've been keeping up with doing all these like Christmas romances and rom-coms, and the second part of the Grinch video, I haven't necessarily had like the time these days to kind of sit down and lock in for that, but tomorrow is gonna be the day, I promise, because like I have everything planned out. It's definitely happening. Today I was busy with other things which I'll get to in a sec, which is why it didn't happen. But yeah, to catch you up, I've been reading Christmas romances, I've been reading winter books, but also I've been starting like a bunch of other books on my TBR. And while I don't think at the end of Bookmas I'll be able to finish them out and get done with them, it's still something I started on Kindle, so it's a fun time overall, just starting a bunch of new books, kind of feeling in the mood for like picking up all these fun reads that maybe I'm picking up only because I'm in a slump at the moment because of how bad the romances are, but at the same time we'll continue them in the new year after I take my little 1 week break after Bookmas is done and whatnot towards the end of it. And so it's not a bad thing, it's just that I'm mood reading again, so that's also fun. And another fun thing I actually did was sit down and kind of change my Kindle case, because we all know I've had that bow one on recently because my aunt actually bought it for me from the US. I'm not in America, so I can't really have access to all these cool cases, but another one she got me along with that as well was this cute one. And doesn't this kind of remind you of Activites, the second book, those vibes? And so I knew I had to put it on, and last night I did, and I love the way it looks, because isn't it just like giving winter wonderland forest and whatnot? And so now my Kindle is also in theme for this time of the year, and it's so perfect to look at because I cannot stop. So that's also another thing I did, change my cover out, because the bow cover, it's really sweet and cute, but it's good for like spring, summertime. This is perfect for right now. I don't even know why I didn't think of it earlier, but I love it, and it's so sturdy and nice, and I just love the feel of it. Every few months if I change my Kindle case out, it feels like I'm getting a whole new Kindle. And so that's also fixing like horrible instincts, but at the same time I don't want another Kindle, so it's not the end of the world anyway. For context though, I do have 2 Kindles, this one and my Kindle Scribe, and I've also been swapping back and forth between reading on both of them. And that one, when I read on it, there's this feature I've actually found out about since a few months at this point, wherein you can actually split screen it so it looks like you're reading a book, wherein there's text on this side, there's text on this side, and it looks like pages and stuff. And so that's also something I've been doing because it's just fun to look at, it's just fun to use. And in my head, when I read on my Kindle Scribe, genuinely feels like I'm reading on Netflix for some reason because of the screen and whatnot. This is fun, it's compact, it's like accessible, but that one, in my head, it's Netflix. So that's also a fun time overall. The last activity that I'm currently able to think of, which I'll be discussing in this vlog, is actually the fact that today we went for like a live concert, you can call it. But before I give you the details, if there's any other activity I've forgotten at this point but I have b-roll of because I've been collecting it all throughout the month, I'll have it in for you so you can actually see what I've been up to. But yeah, I don't want to miss out on anything. I want everything to be an inclusive part of this vlog, which is why I'm putting it in. I'll kind of give you my thoughts in text if there's anything I've forgotten, but in the middle of recording all these videos and stuff, there's a lot I've been up to, so it won't be the end of the world if that's been the case, because I've been like organizing my shelves every time I like take books out and stuff. I've been doing all of these other random things that I wouldn't normally be doing if I wasn't like posting every single day, but I am. So that's also been happening because I wanna be realistically like present in my December, not just like stuck in my screen the entire time wherein I'm just editing the entire time, which is why I'm making it a point to kind of squeeze in something or the other every single day, be it sitting at home and just curling up and reading to give it to myself as a break, but also like going out and stuff and doing all these other fun things. So that's also been happening. Now back to the concert topic. I've been talking about it I think like a couple times or whatnot in like previous vlogs and stuff, but my sister actually goes to dance class and they had their performance today, she and her friend group and everyone else, and we had to go to this place like about an hour from home to kind of go attend and see how that turned out like. And so we went there. Honestly, all I'm gonna say is they did such an incredible job. They've been working so hard for it, and going there felt like such a treat today because we had so much fun. We did all these like fun activities and then we got to sit down and watch what they had actually sat down and been practicing for months at this point, and it turned out so good. There was this one moment where in my head it literally felt like the Eras tour but watching it live, and I haven't been for that. I wish I was, but I didn't go because there were like these fabrics that they were using in their dance performance with like lights strung up on them, and so they were like moving it around, and in my head with the color scheme and whatnot, with the way they were moving it, Eras tour, it just clicked. And so that's also something we did today. I have obviously like clips and stuff that I recorded of her and her friends in their performance and stuff, but I will not be including that in this vlog because they're all kids and this is YouTube. The internet is a scary place, so you won't get to see that, but I will include like other random b-roll that I took of myself as we were at the concert, because again, I am consenting, I am an adult, I am allowed to do that, which is why this will be in the vlog. But yeah, that was another thing we were up to and we did today, because honestly, it was like the best time ever, and so I'm so happy that was something I got to conclude off on. There's another few activities obviously I want to squeeze in throughout the end of December, and now considering the fact that Vlogmas is coming to an end, the fact that I can sit down and, you know, lock in for like the last week of December and whatnot and do all of these, so like getting craftsy and catching up on my reading journal and maybe watching the new Eras Tour docuseries because I haven't had the time to get to that, or like watching Max and Hall season 2. So there's a bunch of things I will be doing. This isn't the end and whatnot, but I just wanted to take you along for like a chill vlog wherein we just sit and we talk and have almost like a heart-to-heart, wherein we're kind of sitting down and taking a break from all the excessive like almost like scrolling that's been going on these days online, because there's nothing wrong with that. Again, if you need instant like gratification and you just need a break, that's always a fun way to do it. But I feel like at the pace it's going right now, everything's just becoming so fast-paced, wherein if you sit down and you take a moment to breathe, it still feels like there'll always be some sort of person going ahead of you and you'll just be left behind, which is why everyone feels like they're in this rat race at this point to just like keep one-upping the other. And it's not like that. You can sit and you can still take a break and the world will be fine, nothing will have changed and whatnot, which is why I wanted to do this vlog just as a cool sit down, you know, chill time. And yeah, that's basically what we ended up doing. These were all the activities I did throughout the month of December, and again, like I said, there will hopefully be more. If I've forgotten any, they'll also be in the vlog. And so again, like I said, this isn't the end, but hopefully you all were able to take away like a recommendation or two to still get to this month, because there's so many activities that you can probably do. You can probably go visit like fun little Christmas markets and like have hot cocoa and stuff over there and support like local businesses, because it's always a good time to kind of help out other other people, especially this time of the year, and then do all these other fun activities, hang out with friends, just have a good time overall, and kind of spend your December catching up and almost reflecting on your entire year. And so that's basically also what I ended up doing all throughout. At this point, it is still the same evening from like when I went for the dance concert and stuff earlier today. I've been out the entire day, which is probably why my voice is nearly gone, because I was screaming over there, having the best time ever. And at this point, I've been talking for so long, so I'm gonna cut it short. I'm just gonna have my McDonald's that's been waiting for me for a little bit, and yeah, probably include b-roll of that once I'm done too, once I'm editing this vlog. But that's it for today's sit down video. Hopefully you guys had a fun time coming along with me and were able to take away an activity suggestion or two. But yeah, regardless, like, comment, share, subscribe. YouTube things, you know how to do them. And now I'm just gonna go because I'm hungry and I want to eat, and I've had quite the long day, and I want to call it a day. So I will go and I'll probably eat some and lock in on my Kindle, start reading with this new case in the background, or maybe watch something with my little sister as we eat together, and then go back to editing at some point, and maybe even fix up my nails because they look ugly right now and I'd love to do something about them. But yeah, possibilities are endless. I cannot wait. But while I go do all of that, be it on camera, be it off camera, at some point I'll still be taking you along with all of it anyway, which is why it's not the end of the world. And so here we are. Now I'll see you directly for tomorrow's Bookmas video, which is literally tomorrow. I don't even have to say very, very soon, because this is our daily routine for the month of December for Bookmas. And so until then, stay safe, take care. I'll see you very soon, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. And that's about it. So tomorrow is going to be a fun one, because I will actually catch up on all of those books. 100% it's happening, and you'll get a vlog then of me crying and complaining about how much I hate them, because that's also been happening all throughout. December hasn't been all daisies and roses and a field of sunflowers and stuff, because those books are definitely kind of being a pain in the ass at the moment. They're almost cringy in like a horrible sense, and it's almost hilarious how much I don't like them. But also, that's part and parcel of life. You'll get some, you won't get some, and it's not the end of the world. So here we are. I'll see you tomorrow, like I said, and until then, bye.